and no one will help you DOI to yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, let me start by telling you a truth so raw, so real, it might just sting a little. No one is coming to help you. And guess what? That's the best news you've heard all day. See, we live in a world where people are waiting for a handout, a hookup, a hero. But let me break it down. God already put the hero in you. He didn't make you to be dependent. He made you to be dominant. So today I want to give you 4 truths, 4 principles that will shatter your excuses and shift your life. You ready? Let's go. Let me tell you something that might hurt a little bit before it heals you. You will never own your life until you stop blaming everything and everyone else for where you are right now. Yeah, I said it. I said it because I've lived it. See, I used to be a trash man, not as a metaphor, but literally. I picked up garbage to pay the bills, but what changed my life wasn't luck. It wasn't help from some rich uncle. It wasn't a miracle check in the mail. It was the moment I stopped pointing fingers and started taking ownership. The truth is, the day you stop making excuses is the day you start making progress. Excuses are chains you wrap around your own mind. Every time you say, I can't because of this, or if only that had happened, you're giving away your God-given power to change. Let me be real with you. Most people aren't broke because they don't have opportunities. They're broke because they're addicted to blame. Blame keeps you broke. Responsibility makes you rich. You can't change what you won't claim. And as long as you keep saying the reason you're not successful is because of your upbringing, your boss, your spouse, your lack of education, your skin color, or your location, you're giving all your power away. What you're really saying is, I'm not in control. But let me remind you of something. You were made in the image of God. And God didn't make you to be a victim. He made you to be victorious. You've got power running through your veins, but you've got to take the wheel and drive. Look, the enemy doesn't need to destroy you. He just needs you to believe you can't change. If you're stuck in your story, you'll never step into your strategy. And a strategy starts with ownership. You can't fix what you pretend isn't broken. And you can't rebuild if you keep acting like the wreckage is someone else's fault. Now, hear me, this ain't about guilt. This ain't about shame. I'm not telling you it's your fault you went through what you went through. I'm telling you it's your responsibility to rise from it. The pain might not be your fault, but the healing is your job. That's ownership. Ownership doesn't ask for permission. It says, this is my life. I will not hand the pen of my story to someone else. You want wealth, take ownership of your habits. You want impact, take ownership of your message. You want freedom, take ownership of your decisions. Stop living reactive and start living proactive. Too many people wait for someone to rescue them when God is waiting for them to move. You don't need a savior, you already have one. What you need now is movement. I hear people say, my circumstances are too hard. Let me tell you, hard is not the same as impossible. Every excuse you've ever made, someone with less than you has overcome it. Someone with less education, less support, less money, less talent, somebody out there decided that enough was enough. They said, I'm done blaming, I'm done waiting, I'm done wishing, I'm working. Now, maybe you were raised in poverty. Maybe you were told you wouldn't amount to anything. Maybe you failed a few times. Maybe people left you. Maybe your life has been tough. I'm not denying your pain. I'm challenging your perspective. You can use your story as a reason to give up or a reason to go up. Your choice. But the door to success opens only with the key of responsibility. When I started my journey to wealth, I didn't know everything, but I knew one thing. No one was coming to save me. No one owed me anything. And when I got that in my spirit, something changed. I stopped waiting and started building. I stopped hoping and started learning. I stopped praying for a way out and started thanking God for the wisdom to build a way through. That's the power of ownership. It's not just about what you do, it's about how you think. It's about walking into every room, every situation, every season with the mindset that says, if it's going to be, it's up to me. It's about refusing to outsource your destiny. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, I may not be where I want to be yet, but I'm not staying here. I'm moving forward. So let me ask you, what are you still blaming? Who are you still waiting on? What lie are you still living under? Today is the day you drop the excuse and pick up your responsibility. No more delay, no more denial, no more defeat. Because when you take ownership, you unlock your authority. And once you do that, nothing can stop you, not your past, not your pain, not even your present. Take the wheel, child of God. It's your time to drive. Let me tell you something that most people don't want to hear, but absolutely need to. You are your best investment. not your job, not your stocks, not your house you. But here's the problem. Too many folks are waiting for someone else to validate them, sponsor them, or fix them. Meanwhile, they're spending their money on everything except their mind. They'll drop hundreds on dinner, thousands on vacations, but flinch when it comes time to pay for a course, a book, a coach, or a mentor. That's not just poor spending, that's a poor mindset. Let me make it plain. You can't withdraw from a life you haven't deposited into. You want high returns, you've got to make high deposits. And the first place you make those deposits is in your own growth. Stop treating your personal development like it's optional. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. You've got people out here complaining about why they're not successful, why they're stuck, why nothing is working. But ask them what they've invested in over the past year to increase their knowledge, their skills, or their value, and it's crickets. Silent, nothing. People want to earn like a CEO, but they think like an employee. They want to command big money, but they're not willing to put big effort into upgrading their mindset. Listen, your level of success will never exceed your level of growth. You don't rise to your dreams. You fall to your level of preparation. And the reason you've been hitting the same wall again and again is because you're using old tools on new challenges. That's why you've got to invest in becoming a better version of you every single day. I remember when I had no money. Not low money, no money. I was working as a trash man. But even back then, I scraped together what I had to buy books. I didn't have cable, but I had Think and Grow Rich. I didn't eat out, but I listened to audio programs on cassette until I could recite them word for word. Why? Because I understood something powerful. My future self was depending on my present sacrifice. Most people want to feel good now, and they never think about the cost of later. But wisdom says pay now so you can play later. Fools play now and pay forever. You've got to change the way you think about money. Stop seeing it as something to spend and start seeing it as something to sell. Every dollar you put into your own mind is a seed. And seeds don't grow overnight, but they always produce a harvest when sown in the right soil. If you want to have more, you've got to become more. And becoming more takes intention. You don't stumble into success, you build it brick by brick, habit by habit, book by book, day by day. Now let me clear something up. Self-investment is not just about money, it's also about time. You say you want to succeed, but how much time are you spending every day on your phone scrolling, watching TV, arguing with people on social media who don't even know your name? You're investing time. You're just investing it in things that don't pay you back. You want to win. Audit your day. Look at where your time goes, because time is the currency of greatness. You can get more money. You can't get more time. And if you waste your time, you're robbing your future self of opportunity. You need to start seeing every hour of growth as a deposit into your destiny. Read the book. Watch the training. Take the course. Hire the mentor. Go to the seminar. Get around people who stretch you, challenge you, and call you higher. And don't just look for cheerleaders, look for truth tellers. Get around folks who are further than you and humble yourself to learn. You're not too smart. You're not too talented. You're not too grown. You're just too stubborn to grow. But growth begins where comfort ends. And don't wait for permission. Most people never invest in themselves because they're waiting for someone else to believe in them first. But the truth is, no one will believe in you more than you believe in you. That's why self-investment is the highest form of self-respect. You're saying to the world and to yourself, I'm worth it. My vision is worth it. My legacy is worth it. When you start treating yourself like an asset, the world will too. The crazy thing is, it doesn't even take a lot. You don't need to drop $10,000 overnight. Start where you are. Read a chapter a day. Spend 30 minutes learning instead of loafing. Get a library card. Get YouTube University. Just start. You'd be amazed at how fast your life will change when you decide you're dying to average. Because once you invest in your mind, your income has no choice but to catch up. So don't just wait for success to come knocking. Build a house it wants to live in. You are the foundation. You are the architect. You are the investor. And if you build wisely, if you invest faithfully, your life will produce returns far beyond what you ever imagined. That's what mastering the skill of self-investment is about. It's about becoming a person no one has to rescue because you already made the decision to rise. Let me talk to you today about one of the greatest myths keeping people broken, and behind the idea that you need motivation to move, that you have to feel inspired, pumped up, or in the zone to make progress. Let me tell you something real. If you're waiting for motivation, you'll be waiting forever. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are fickle. They come and go like the weather. But discipline, that's a decision. That's a lifestyle. That's power. See, motivation is a spark, but discipline is the engine. Motivation will get you out of bed for one day, but discipline will keep you moving long after the feeling fades. And it will fade. Let's be honest, there are going to be days you don't feel like doing anything. You won't feel like working, building, learning, grinding, or praying. And if you're living based on your emotions, you'll give up every time. But if you're living based on your commitment, you'll rise even when it's raining, even when it hurts, even when no one's watching. That's the difference between amateurs and professionals. Amateurs wait until they feel like it. Professionals show up no matter how they feel. You think the greatest entrepreneurs, athletes, or leaders were driven by motivation every day? Absolutely not. They were driven by vision and sustained by discipline. And that's what you need, vision so strong that it demands discipline even when your feelings are screaming quit. You ever hear people say, I just need to get motivated? No, you don't. What you need is to get consistent. Motivation is like cotton candy. It feels good in the moment, but it doesn't build anything. Discipline is the bricks and mortar. It's the stuff that builds businesses, families, empires, and legacies. Discipline is what makes the difference between wishing and winning. Look, it's easy to post quotes about hustle and grind on Instagram. It's easy to make a vision board. It's easy to talk about your goals. But when the alarm clock goes off at 5 a.m., when the bills are due and the sales aren't coming in, when people doubt you, that's when discipline is either going to carry you or betray you. Because discipline is the decision you made when you were clear about your purpose, and it's what keeps you going when you're not. Let me get personal for a second. There were times in my life when I didn't want to write the book, make the call, do the work. I didn't feel like being excellent. I didn't feel like pushing through. But I had made a decision long before those feelings showed up that I was going to honor my calling, not my comfort. And that's what some of you need to do right now. Stop honoring your comfort. Start honoring your calling. You're not always going to be in the mood to grow. That's why growth doesn't come to people who are moved by moods. It comes to people who have the discipline to do what they said they do, long after the mood in which they said it has passed. That's what integrity looks like. That's what results require. Discipline doesn't ask you how you feel. Discipline tells you what to do. You know why this is good news? Because discipline doesn't care where you started. You don't need to come from money to be disciplined. You don't need to be gifted, talented, or lucky. You just need to decide. That's it. You don't need a crowd cheering for you. You don't need perfect circumstances. You need to be the kind of person who follows through regardless of the noise, regardless of the weather, regardless of the season. Discipline isn't sexy. Discipline is showing up to the gym when no one's there to see your progress. It's making the sales call when the last 10 people told you no. Opening your Bible when you'd rather open Netflix. It's studying when your friends are partying. It's putting your phone on airplane mode and focusing. It's making sacrifices today because you know what kind of person you're becoming tomorrow. Discipline is love in action. It's loving your future self so much that you're willing to do the hard things today. It's saying no to what's easy so you can say yes to what's eternal. Most people are suffering not from a lack of motivation, but from a lack of commitment. They've confused excitement with excellence, but excitement dies, discipline stays. Discipline finishes what excitement starts. And if you're serious about winning, you've got to make peace with discipline. You've got to learn to love it. Love the routine. Love the repetition. Love the structure, because greatness lives in the boring. Success is hidden in the ordinary. The people who win are the ones who master the basics not once but daily. They don't skip steps. They don't wait until it's convenient. They show up, rain or shine, broke or balling, motivated or not. So don't chase motivation. That's a trap. Chase mastery. Chase commitment. Chase purpose. Let your actions lead and your feelings will follow. And even if they don't, so what? You move anyway, because the life you want isn't waiting for a motivated version of you. It's waiting for a disciplined version of you. And that version is not a dream, it's a decision. Make it. You were not created to live small. You were not born to shrink, to second guess yourself, to wonder whether you're allowed to step into your calling. Know when God made you, he made you in his image. And that image carries authority. You weren't made to be timid. You weren't made to ask the world for permission. You were made to dominate, to speak with boldness, to walk in the power of purpose. The problem is, most people have no idea what's living inside them. They're walking through life like renters in a home they already own, begging for keys that God already placed in their hands. You've been praying for God to move, but he's waiting for you to move. He already gave you the command. He already gave you the dominion. The same spirit that raised Christ from the dead lives in you, not a weaker version, not a smaller portion, but the same power. The real question isn't whether God has empowered you. The question is, you walking in it. Most people aren't. They're living way below their potential. They're settling for less than what they were made for because they've been convinced that humility means hiding. But hiding isn't holy, it's disobedient. When you bury your gifts, you rob the world of your contribution. When you silence your voice, you delay your own destiny. God didn't call you to blend in, he called you to stand out, to lead, to create, to command space. And if you won't walk in the authority he gave you, somebody else will take that influence and use it for something far less meaningful. Your authority isn't arrogance. It's alignment. You're not walking around puffed up in your own strength. You're walking in the identity God gave you. That means when you speak, it's not just you talking, it's the echo of heaven behind your voice. That means when you build, you're not just hustling, you're co-laboring with the creator of the universe. That means when you walk into a room, you're not just present, you carry presence. And when you finally believe that, things start to shift. Not because you got louder, but because you got clearer. Clear about who you are. Clear about why you're here. You have authority in your words. The Bible says death and life are in the power of the tongue. And yet so many people are speaking curses over their own lives without even knowing it. I'm not good enough. I always mess up. Things never work out for me. And they wonder why their world reflects their words. Listen, what you speak, you shape. And when you activate your God-given authority, you become intentional about what you allow to come out of your mouth. You speak life, you speak victory. You speak according to your destiny, not your doubts. And let's be honest, doubt is real. Fear is real. But neither one has more power than the authority God gave you. Fear will always try to convince you that you're not ready, that you're not equipped, that you don't have what it takes. But fear is a liar. Fear knows that if you ever stepped into your full authority, it would lose control over you forever. And that's why your breakthrough won't come from avoiding fear, it'll come from moving forward in spite of it. The enemy doesn't have to destroy you to defeat you. All he has to do is convince you that you're powerless, that you're ordinary, that your past disqualifies you, that you're just one of many. But God didn't call you to be one of many, he called you to be a voice, not an echo. There's a mantle on your life. There's an assignment with your name on it. And nobody else can do it like you. So stop tiptoeing. Stop waiting for confirmation from people who don't even have a vision. Stop apologizing for being anointed. You don't need to explain your calling to people who were never there when God spoke it over your life. If they didn't call you, they can't cancel you. When you know that God sent you, you don't need votes, you walk in authority. And authority doesn't just talk, it takes action. When Jesus gave his disciples authority, he didn't say, sit and wait for a feeling. He said, go into all the world. Go lay hands on the sick. Go make disciples. Go cast out demons. Go multiply what I gave you. And the same applies to you. You don't need another sign. You don't need another open door. You need to walk, move, speak, build, create, lead. Operate as if heaven is backing you, because it is. This authority doesn't make life easy, but it does make you unstoppable. It doesn't remove every obstacle, but it gives you the power to overcome. It doesn't guarantee applause, but it guarantees impact. When you walk in God-given authority, you stop reacting and start ruling. You stop surviving and start shaping. You don't just endure seasons, you shift them. But here's the key. Authority is activated through obedience. You can't walk in power if you're walking in rebellion. You can't carry the weight of your calling while dragging the chains of compromise. If you want to walk in kingdom authority, your heart's got to be submitted. Your steps have to be ordered. That doesn't mean perfection, it means pursuit. You're not trying to impress God, you're walking with him. You're not striving, you're aligning. So today, remember this, you are not average. You are not stuck. You are not forgotten. You have been called, equipped, and empowered. And it's time to activate that authority, not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready, not when people approve. Now, because heaven already voted yes on you, and you don't need a second opinion. No one is coming to do the work for you. And that's exactly how God designed it. Because the struggle produces the strength. The grind creates the glory. So today, make the decision. Don't wait, don't wish. Don't whine. Work, win, worship, repeat. Because if no one will help you, that just means God's giving you the chance to discover the greatness he put inside you. Now go out there and do it yourself.